Welcome to Shooby Dooby Doo-Wop, a podcast where we talk about pop music. We're going to deep dive a randomly chosen UK top 10 singles chart from the past. As we pretend that the world is new and like it used to be, histories of ages past that give us comfort every day. Time is wasting and we'll soon be old, but it's all right now. In fact, it's a guess. My name's James Cook.
I'm Andy Robinson.
And we live in the back of the Greta Garbo Home for Wayward Podcasters.
I get you nice clues, James, for what is coming up. Which top 10 are we having a look at this week, James?
It is the top 10 from the 13th of July, 1968.
The 13th of July, 1968, I say partially to just reiterate that date in your head. I had a little look at what was going on. I mean, in the world, James, there was a worldwide pandemic that just began in Hong Kong. Reminiscent of anything?
Keep it light.
Also, all right, then, in pop music news, Judy Garland had just done her last US concert with Count Basie and Jackie Wilson. The Yardbirds have just done the last gig. And the Beatles animated film, Yellow Submarine, is just about to come out. So, you know, that's pop music context at least. What did the worldwide pandemic have to do with a Hanna-Barbera cartoon?
I don't know. Hanna-Barbera cartoons in the 60s, what would they have been? Top Cat, Yogi Bear, Huckleberry Hound.
I reiterate the fact about this pandemic.
Hong Kong Phooey.
Hong Kong Phooey. A million pop points to you. What were you doing on the 13th of July 1968?
It was a long time before I was born. I say long time, not that long actually. But...
Yeah, I agree. I mean, it's one of those charts, James, where neither of us have to stipulate our age, which is always a treat. I mean, I wasn't born on the 13th of July 1968. Having said that, it was pretty tight. Other songs in the top 30 on their way to the top 10, or on their way from the top 10 at least, are Money Money, Tommy James and the Shondells, MacArthur Park, Richard Harris, This Wheel's on Fire, Julie Driscoll, Do You Know the Way to San Jose by Dionne Warwick, I Close My Eyes and Count to 10, all these great songs.
I've got some stats about this chart.
I really want to hear your stats.
This top 10 contains 3 UK number ones. There are 4 songs going up, 4 going down, and 2 non-movers for a total net movement of positive 1. There are 7 British artists, 2 American artists, and 1 group who are both British and West Indian. Speaking of groups, there are 4 of them in the charts, 4 solo artists. We're going to hear 3 cover versions, a song that later features heavily in a film, and a song that inspires a film.
By my reckoning, there are 5 songs about the complexities of love, 2 songs about a fella called Jack, 1 song about a special kind of mother, 1 song about living in the moment, and 1 song about a bloke who can't stop making a racket on an instrument from the 11th century. Unfortunately, there are no examples of any self-reference in this week's top 10, but there are 3 key changes, so that makes me happy. I didn't know 70% of this top 10 I had bought or had purchased on Best Of and compilations, 3 of them, so that counts as something, doesn't it?
Yeah, there were songs on this chart that I'd never heard before.
And no spoilers, but if you listen to our Spotify playlist and our YouTube playlist, which is attached in our descriptions, you can familiarise or reconnect with these songs before, during or after this podcast. I highly recommend it this week. It's a great top 10.
And there are also another half a dozen songs on our playlist that are in the top 50 on the 13th of July 1968, and we'll get into them in our special bonus tracks podcast, featuring Aretha Franklin, The Small Faces, a song written by acrobats, a song with a lackadaisical attitude to death, and the link between Nirvana and Rent-A-Ghost.
It's 1968, baby. Anything could happen.
You can join our Patreon community for free. The bonus tracks podcast costs less than a lava lamp a month.
A lava lamp, you say?
All the rage in 1968. Come on, baby, let the good times roll.
Number 10.
Down 3 places to number 10, it's Blue Eyes by Don Partridge.
Now, James, I never knew this song. Did you?
No, I didn't. Don Partridge sounds like a sort of Italian version of a Steve Coogan character.
As you know, James, I have a go at writing songs sometimes, don't I?
You do?
And quite often when you write a song, what people say to you is, it sounds like a fill-in blank name here, B-side. And it's kind of annoying when people play a song to someone and they say it sounds like a, let's say, Noel Gallagher B-side. You think, you could just say Noel Gallagher's song, that, you know, it'd be all right.
Why does it have to be a B-side?
But I'm about to say Blue Eyes by Don Partridge reminds me of a Paul McCartney album track or B-side. Now, James, in this context, you know how I feel about Paul McCartney B-sides and album tracks, almost the greatest songs in the world. So I'm going to say I love this song this week, brand new to me.
So it's a compliment when you say it. That's the point.
It is when I talk about Paul McCartney. When if something's a Paul McCartney B-side, I mean, we're talking special.
What is it about this song that makes it reminiscent of Paul McCartney in your ears?
The breezy melody, the lighter lyrical touch, the joy within it, the fact that he mentions bluebirds in it and blackbirds probably, that's quite McCartney. And I think just this general optimism in the melody and the words, lovely to me this week.
Well, the song was written by Richard Kerr and Joan Maitland. Richard Kerr has writing credit on Mandy by Barry Manilow.
Okay.
And Looks Like We Made It.
It looks like we made it.
Barry
Twain?
That's Barry Manilow.
Oh, my apologies.
Do you know anything of Don Partridge?
No, let me tell you this before you get into it. I looked on YouTube comments this week, as I do. Have a look what's going on in the world. Find some snarky, pithy, let's call it beautiful comments. Don Partridge this week was unique so far in all of these ones we've done because there were so many stories about people meeting him. I mean, people were saying, I used to busk with him in Leicester Square in London. I saw him play on South Pier in Blackpool. Some fellow in Stockholm says he was singing for all the drunks in the pub one night. I'm interested what you found out about this fella this week because he seems to have lived the life of, let's call it, a musician, but not necessarily the rock star, being ferried about in limos and planes. He's a street busker, seems to be all his life.
He was, indeed. He was the self-styled king of the buskers, he used to call himself. He'd travel around Europe busking. When you learn that and you listen to the song, you can hear it, can't you? You can hear sort of the one-man band quality to it.
Again, McCartney-esque, I'm going to say.
He hadn't always been a busker. When he left school, he became a burglar. And then he became a busker. He would often get fined by the authorities for illegally busking, but the fine was less than the money he'd make doing the busking, so it was actually worth his while to get fined.
A little bit like Premier League footballers who I hear park outside fancy hotels in London because a 70 quid ticket they get is actually cheaper than parking properly and they can go where they want.
He once declared himself to be the Birdman of Ealing and attempted to fly off Hammersmith Bridge with a pair of homemade wings. What do you think happened next?
I imagine he was busked a song on the way down, the way everyone else seems to be going on about him in YouTube.
Yeah, it turns out he can't actually fly.
What?
So
he's a partridge? Ha 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 ha! Shoot me now.
He got a bit of a break on TV in 1967. He appeared on the Eamon Andrews Show, and off the back of that got signed to EMI and has 2 top 10 hits. This his biggest hit.
The other one was called Rosie.
Yeah.
Because loads of people on YouTube, again, are going on about Don Partridge and saying he refused to play these 2 songs. He didn't want to be a pop star. So even in this context, there's something kind of, let's call it, off-kilter about him.
I mean, yeah, he had these 2 hits, and then he went straight back to busking. The only thing he did do with the sort of fame and, I guess, money that may have come in for him, he arranged a national buskers tour, which concluded with a buskers happening at the Royal Albert Hall in 1969.
A happening, baby. It's 1969.
Yeah, and then he just went back to busking in the 70s. You know Lemon Jelly?
The dance troupe, let's call them, yeah.
That makes it sound like they're Pan's people, the 2 DJ guys.
Yeah.
He worked with them for a bit in the 2000s, and apparently he has appeared on Nevermind the Buzzcocks twice.
Okay.
So I was just wondered whether he was around when you were knocking around there.
When I was doing the warm-ups for Nevermind the Buzzcocks, no, I can't remember him. I mean, you know, as I've alluded to in other podcasts, James, I always used to nip off next door to see Later being recorded, didn't I? So
you could have been one of these people who met Don Partridge.
Writing on YouTube comments, I remember having a drink with him. Anyway, he sounds like an interesting proponent of pop music.
Is there interesting instrument features in this song?
Yeah, now this is another McCartney-esque notion. James, tell us about it and I'll give you my thoughts.
There's a solo on a kazoo.
It starts off with a beautiful solo on the kazoo. Again, that kazoo comes in to introduce the next verse. Then the instrumental break, let's call it the solo, is on a harmonica. You think, where's the kazoo gone? And then gloriously, James, a little bit like the black and white keys on the ebony and ivory keyboard, they come in at the end together, a kazoo and a harmonica, making beautiful music.
Beautiful music.
Didn't you like it?
Well, it's a kazoo, isn't it?
I loved it.
What other songs can you think of that feature a kazoo?
We have never said the word kazoo yet on this podcast, so go on. I can't think of any.
Well, the only one I could think of was Crosstown Traffic.
Do 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 do. Yeah. Great
Jimi
shout.
Hendrix. Jimi Hendrix and Don Partridge, the big kazoo masters.
I mean, Jimi Hendrix renowned for his kazoo work, isn't he? So
yeah, he used to set fire to his kazoo.
Play his kazoo behind his head, which is pretty tricky. Now, this song, James, Don Partridge, Blue Eyes, it's in E, isn't it? And without broaching anything, it sort of goes, I'll hear the bluebird string, a dooba booba string. Do 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 stay, you know, letting me down, yeah, letting me down. And now, James, we have talked about that chord change before, the descending bass line. Pictures of Lily in my head, oh beautiful. Yeah, I like to call it the Betty chord change because Taylor Swift recently did a song. Also, we had that chord change in 1988, something like that chart we did. Where it was only you can set me free because I'm guilty as it. So, I always like to shout out that chord change when it happens. I am not mocking anyone who does it. I love the way that people keep using it and adding new melodies to it. Beautiful.
So incredibly, Andy, this is the most successful single in the UK charts to mention Blue Eyes in the title.
Really?
Yeah.
Are you asking me what other Blue Eyes? Elton John did one, didn't he? Blue eyes, baby's got blue eyes. I like Elton John because he's, after his big announcement that he was stopping touring because he needed to rest with his family, I'm seeing him on the bleeding telly all the time this week promoting his new album with Brandy Carlisle. I think, oh, well done on having a rest, Elton. I'm thinking he might be one of them men who actually, when he got to it, his domestic life and looking after his kids, he might have thought, I need to make a new song. Yeah.
This is not as much fun as being a rock star, it turns out. There are 9 top 40 songs that feature Blue Eyes. Do you think there are more or less that mention Brown Eyes?
I would say, because you said surprisingly Blue Eyes, there's more than Brown Eyes.
No, there's only 3 songs about brown eyes in the title.
Okay.
Which is the same as the number of songs with black eyes in them. And only 1 song that features either red eyes and green eyes.
How are you counting the song Don't It Make My Brown Eyes Blue? What are you putting that under?
Well, that's about brown eyes, isn't it?
What?
It's about brown eyes.
Yeah,
because it means blue as in sad.
Not necessarily.
Or you think it's like when David Bowie hit his head.
Yeah,
and his eyes
I always thought that song was about that, yeah.
There's never been a UK number 1 with the name of an eye colour in the title. Unless you count bright as a colour.
Ah, yeah, nice work.
But that's more of a tone.
Well, I love it. Don Partridge in this song is saying, I hope you can see I see the world in your blue eyes. I hope you see the world through your blue eyes. Whatever he's banging on about, it's beautiful, isn't it? This is good on YouTube. Celltape9691 says, it's all about a good song in the end. Pluck some strings and bang some bins.
Bang some bins?
Apparently. That's how much the kazoo annoyed him. He'd rather have banging bins.
Number 9.
Up 2 to number 9 this week, it's Ohio Express with Yummy, Yummy, Yummy.
Now, I was aware of this song.
Yes, this is one of the ones I already owned and loved.
Do you know where I heard it first?
The Simpsons or the Muppets?
I mean, it has been on The Simpsons twice, but that's not where.
Okay.
It's in an episode of Monty Python's Flying Circus.
That's it. That's the often the other one, isn't it? If it's not The Simpsons or the Muppets. Go on, what context?
It's in an episode of Series 2 where there's a recurring joke about people hiding. So at the end of the show, I think it's Michael Palin introduces a band called Jackie Charlton and the Charltonettes, and they play the song Yummy, 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 and then do like a Top of the Pops style performance by a band who are all in different shipping crates.
Yep.
But shot like Top of the Pops. So that's where I knew the song from.
Okay. I don't know where I knew it from. I had it, like I say, a CD that I must have spent a $5 on once upon a time, a best of the 60s. That's the only song I know by this Express outfit. I'm thinking this week, I spent about $5 on this song, essentially. And then I remembered when I had therapy sessions once, my therapist at the time was right into dream analysis. Now I said, I was in my dream last night, I was singing Yummy, Yummy. Don't worry, I won't be banging on about dreams too long. But anyway, I was singing that song in my dream, And then she really got into this notion of why was this song appearing. So I reckon I've spent about 65 quid on this bleeding song. So, yeah.
I mean, it is catchy.
Oh, my God, it's so catchy. So sticky. Bubblegum pop, so I suppose that could be a reason it's sticky.
It's yummy, yummy, bubblegummy.
Now, bubblegum pop as a term, which this certainly falls under, it's on compilations, it's always confused me a little bit because bubblegum, I always thought because it was catchy and sticky and sweet and everything, I guess it might be the term came up because it was marketed towards children. I mean, this song has certainly got a kiddie vibe, hasn't it?
Yeah.
Apart from someone on YouTube who said it was about oral sex, yummy, yummy, I've got love in my tummy. I didn't like that this week.
Oh dear, must they drag everything down to their level? The internet. Do you want to know the story of Ohio Express?
Very much. I mean, like I say, I know nothing else by them, so, you know.
Well, there might be a reason for that.
I'll go on.
They don't really exist.
Like the Archies, another bubblegum pop record concocted to please the kids.
Well, kind of.
Go on.
Ohio Express as a name was owned by Super K Productions, which was Jerry Cassanetes and Jeffrey Katz, who were purveyors of finest bubblegum pop in the 60s. The first iteration of a band that they put together was called The Rare Breed, who they signed, but then they fell out and they left. So Super K remixed and reissued one of the Rare Breed songs that had been recorded, which was called Beg, Borrow and Steal, and they gave it the name Ohio Express. Okay, so that was the first iteration of Ohio Express. Then Super K hired a band called Sir Timothy and the Royals, who were from Ohio, to go and be Ohio Express at live shows. So they were like, right, we're hiring you. You're now Ohio Express. Go play this song that you didn't do first.
Yeah.
Off you go. So Super K get in touch with a guy called Joey Levine to write songs for the Ohio Express. Do you remember who Joey Levine was? We've spoken of him before in one of our Patreon episodes.
Oh, go on.
He's from the Radio Rocks, But You Rolled Me. What was that song?
Oh, yeah, Life is a Rock, But the Radio Rolled Me.
Yeah.
By whoever sang that.
Yeah, well, that's him.
Okay,
He
great.
would go on to write and sing that. So there's him. There's a guy called Artie Resnick, who co-wrote Under the Boardwalk.
Wow.
They start writing songs, and they do a demo of a song called Yummy, Yummy, Yummy. They send it to Super K, and Super K went, yeah, this is great. We're just going to put this out. Right. They were like, oh, okay, we thought you were going to get the band you've got out on the road called Ohio Express to record it. And they went, no, we're going to put it out, and we're just going to call that Ohio Express, and the band will just have to learn it. So they put it out. It sells 1 million copies. So none of the touring band Ohio Express are on the record at all.
Yeah, okay.
And the legend goes that for the follow-up single, which was called Chewy Chewy, it's basically the digestive process.
Yeah. Chewy, chewy, chewy. I've got love in my shoey.
And the legend has it that the touring band aren't told that there's a new single out. And so when crowds start requesting they play it, they go, we don't know what you're talking about.
That's good, isn't it?
The next year, Joey Levine, who's writing all these songs, he falls out with Super K, and the Ohio Express only have minor chart success in North America after that. They're still not using the touring band on any of the recordings, including one song that's on an Ohio Express release called Sausalito is the Place to Go, which is co-written and sung by Graham Gouldman and performed by Graham Gouldman, Eric Stewart, Kevin Godley and Lol Cream.
10cc, in other words.
Yeah, 10cc were the Ohio Express very briefly for one song.
Great research.
Then in 1972, they stopped messing around with this nonsense, obviously. But in 1999, without the consent of Super K Productions, the original drummer from the touring band, a guy called Tim Conwin, puts a band together and starts touring as the Ohio Express. They are still performing as of 2025.
That is me applauding Tim, what was his name? Tim Conwin for doing the drummer. And
Tim Corwin.
Corwin, my apologies.
No, it's all right, I got it.
I mean, what a complicated business we are. We've discussed before in the past, haven't we? Alvin Stardust was never really Alvin Stardust. In fact, he wasn't Shane Fenton. He stepped into somebody's toes. So let's say it's carrying on that tradition of pop music. I didn't really do research, but scrolling down the YouTube comments, a fella called Synthman66. Now, the intro, James, without going on too much, very thrilling, isn't it? It's like... that emphasis on stuff, yeah?
Yeah.
No, Synthman66 has pointed out a couple of things. What else? Is that an intro to?
Oh, it's Get Back.
No.
Oh, Back in the USSR.
Yeah,
Back
yeah,
in the
let's
USSR.
do it.
Yeah.
Let's do it. Flew from my head, me beats me UAC.
Was that before or after Yummy Yummy Yummy?
I believe the White Album, which that Back in the USSR came out Christmas time, 68, so before. This one's before.
Yeah, this is before.
All right, then.
It's the Beatles, Nick
What
it
else?
from Yummy Yummy Yummy.
Yeah, what else do you think this might be? This is a good one. I don't want you coming here, wasting all my time. Cars, just what I always wanted as well, something like that. Good spot, since Man 66. We appreciate your, let's call it, musical observations.
So it's more influential than you'd think, this
Absolutely.
throwaway bit of bubblegum pop.
Yeah, I mean, let's go on. I love this record. It makes me feel happy. It makes me feel alive. We all know the feeling of wanting a little bit of love in our tummy, despite the dirty YouTube comments.
Number 8.
Up one to number 8. It's My Name is Jack by Manfred Mann, whose name isn't Jack, it's Manfred.
Very much. Good spot, James. That's the type of top quality insight you can expect from this podcast. Please sign up to our Patreon.
So I knew this song a bit, and I'd always, I think, kind of dismissed it as a sort of bit of late 60s psychedelia whimsy, Manfred Mann trying to write a psychedelic song.
Yep.
But it turns out it's a cover version anyway.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't know this song, James. It's an intriguing one, isn't it? The notion of the narrator who named Jack. What is a Greta Garbo home for wayward boys and girls?
I just
My
assumed they
apologies.
made that up.
Yeah, well, loads of people. I liked it, James, because again on the YouTube comments, there was loads of people saying they were either orphans or lived in a foster home, and a lot of people related to this song. I suppose the notion of communal living. Then I was thinking, a song about a foster home. And I had a little look on YouTube comments, and someone pointed out what it was really about. Do you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, go on, tell us.
It was originally written by an American record producer called John Simon, and it's in a movie, and I use that term very loosely, called You Are What You Eat, IMDb rating 5.8, which is generous. It is all on YouTube.
Have you watched it?
No.
So how do you know it's generous?
I've watched
yeah?
some bits of it. It's a 70-minute long psychedelic montage of images and prototype music videos. If you want to watch it, it's one of those late 60s experimental hippie films.
Cool.
And the things in the lyrics refer to places and characters that are in the film. So the Greta Garbo Home for Wayward Boys and Girls is the nickname given to a real hostel in San Francisco called the Kirkland Hotel.
Yeah, this is what I read in YouTube comments. PC number 2832 talks about this hippie hostel, and he says, the potheads are on the first floor, the meth monsters are on the 5th floor, and the heroin addicts were everywhere in between. It's not the greatest TripAdvisor review I've ever read, but...
Is there parking?
Got that little bit at the beginning, which is the intro is a ode to joy, I think, isn't it? Beethoven, the little do 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 do. He's got that little thing, isn't he?
Yeah, right at the beginning it sounds like it's going to be Frere Jacques.
Yeah, if you like,
Ties in with the Jack theme.
if you like, yeah.
And is it on the recorder?
Don Partridge with his kazoo.
No, the recorder.
It's 1968. I mean, you would think it's heavy, right? I was surprised by the chart this week. When you sent it me last week, James, I thought 1968, that'll all be rocking and hard-edged and British blues boom, if you like, rock music. There's a load of froth and beauty on this top 10. I'm also going to say, James, here, it's a little bit like a game we used to play. It was at school when we used to walk around. All playtime, we spent our time doing this. Walk around the playground going, anybody want a game of army? No girls. Right. So people had joined the army. No girls. They weren't allowed.
Yeah.
But there's no women in this week's top 10 either, are there? It's worth pointing out.
There are no women in the top 10. They're kind of referred to.
Yeah.
And in this song, there's also a character referred to as Superman, not called Superman in the original version.
What was it?
Well, it's a reference to a real-life Haight-Ashbury drug dealer who would go by a name that is also a racist slur. Okay. So Manfred Mann originally recorded it with that name, and then they changed it to Superman.
Oh, yes. I saw some people on YouTube, let's call it a different take on what's really important in the world, saying this was a cop-out. Fair enough.
Yeah. So what do you know about Manfred Mann?
I know that in this record, it's not got Paul Jones singing on it, it's Mike Darbo
Mike Darbo.
who sings on this.
Can you think of a couple of songs that he has written for other people that have been huge?
I can, because so some people on YouTube were going on to it. Handbags and Glad Rags.
Yep.
the 70s TV jingle, "A finger of fudge is just enough to give your kids a treat."
Did he?
I don't know. It's on YouTube comments. Please write into shoobypodcast@gmail.com if you know different.
If you wrote it and you're sick of Mike Darbo taking all the credit. Co-wrote Build Me Up Buttercup as well.
Oh, I never knew that, blimey. You would think he made a few quid from just handbags and glad rags and Build Me Up Buttercup, despite his finger of fudge nonsense. Apparently, on YouTube comments, Mike Darbo also turned down a chance to be lead singer of the Stones in 1962, according to JRG Boy at least. And also, he said later, he was in a play called The Banana Box with Leonard Rossiter, and he declined the role when it went onto TV. Do you know what the play The Banana Box went on to become?
Is it Rising Damp?
Yeah.
Also, there's Klaus Vormann.
Oh, yes.
He's in Manfred Mann.
At this time, I saw him on the video. I was surprised. For those who don't know, Klaus Vormann is a bass player. He's famous for playing... Well, I suppose he's famous for being friends with the Beatles, really, in their Hamburg days. And then he went on to play with McCartney and Lennon and Manfred Mann, seemingly.
And he designed the Revolver record sleeve.
Ah, yes, another one.
And he produced the song Da Da Da.
Really?
Yeah.
Pretty good.
Do you know who else was in Manfred Mann?
Manfred Mann, you would imagine, was in.
Yeah, Manfred Mann.
I could see the way your little mind was going.
Yeah, born Manfred Lubowitz in Johannesburg, moved to UK in 1961 to protest at apartheid. Said, "I'm not sticking around for this nonsense." Came to the UK. And then he meets Mike Hugg, the drummer, at Clacton Butlins.
A beautiful spot where all the best stories begin.
I mean, this song has burrowed its way into my brain and has been an earworm all week, and it's starting to really annoy me.
I like the end. It's only brief. That goes, "My name is Jack and I live in the back. My name is Jack and I live in the back." Just at the very end. Even that silly little hook, despite it only lasting momentarily, has got me this week.
There's a little bit in it as well where it just goes, "My name's Jack, ba 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 ba."
Yeah.
That reminded me so much of "We Are the Village Green Preservation Society" by the Kinks, which comes out after this. So you go, is there an influence there? Is it great minds thinking alike?
Now, this is good, James. When I was looking at the old YouTube comments, a fella called Buzz Lunch Punk says, "Gigi Allen covered this, and when he sang it, he flung his own shit at the audience." It's not
It's not going to shift many tickets, is it?
No.
We didn't do that at our live show.
Well, we did metaphorically.
Number 7.
Down one to number 7 this week. It's Marmalade with the song "Loving Things."
So I'd never heard this before.
Nor me,
And then
brand new.
I put it on, and then I thought, I have heard this before because this is Everlasting Love.
The intro is very reminiscent, isn't it?
Yes.
Yeah.
And Everlasting Love is one of my favourite songs. So part of me is like, oh, you've taken that. But then also, I quite like it, though.
Yeah. As someone on YouTube points out, it's all down to the Keith Mansfield orchestral sound. Apparently, the orchestra on this record is conducted by some fella called Keith Mansfield, who was a big deal in the 60s.
It's got a big sound, hasn't it?
Yeah.
It's everything. Everything all at once on this song.
Yeah.
And apparently, the story goes that Marmalade were offered Everlasting Love as a song the year before, and they went, no. And then the Love Affair do it, and it's a massive hit. Yeah. And then someone comes, "Do you want a song that's a bit like Everlasting Love?" "Yes, please." "Yeah, sorry, yes, please. Thank you very much."
All right, then. Who wrote it? They're not Marmalade themselves.
No, it's another British band with a song written by an American. The composer and arranger Artie Schreck wrote this song.
Oh, yeah. I've heard the name.
Marmalade, of course, would go on to have a number 1 hit in the UK with,
I believe, Obladi Oblada.
Yep. What first did they achieve when they got to number 1?
That's a good question. I don't know. The first band to cover a Beatles song get top of the charts.
I mean, it might be, but I think Joe Cocker was before then.
Okay.
It's to do with where they're from.
They're from Scotland, I believe.
Yep.
What's their first... What are you saying? What's their first achievement?
They were the
Scottish band to get them. Surely
they were the first Scottish artist to have a UK number 1.
Surely not even in 1968.
Yeah, it's like 17 years after the chart started. Do you know what Marmalade's original name was?
Nope.
They were originally called Dean Ford and the Gaylords.
Okay.
Why is that funny?
I went to school with a fella called Dean Ford, so it reminded me of that.
Okay.
And he was a real Gaylord.
Well, the Gaylords were like a Glasgow street gang,
right,
akin to the Peaky Blinders.
Okay.
And they thought, hey, let's be cool and name our band after that. And then I think someone had a word. And they went, all right, marmalade, that'll do.
Yeah.
And actually, the story that I read was that they went with marmalade because they liked the mascot on the marmalade jars.
It's a lovely sentiment, this song, isn't it? About the loving things, you know. They go on, don't they, about how happy they are in love.
Yeah.
I'm thinking, this is nice. What a lovely, touching song. Then, towards the end, they say, with a smile from your young face, it gave me back my inspiration. And I thought, a young face? What the hell is going on in this?
Well, young is a relative term. Someone in their early 20s is young.
Absolutely.
Andy, unless they're trying to, get into a soft play area. Then they're old. A prime minister who's in his 50s is young.
I get you. All right, then. So I don't need to worry about, let's call it the...
No.
Yeah, all right, then.
They haven't specified a number, so we're all right.
Cool. Marmalade, you are not cancelled.
Well, having said that, let's talk a little bit about some of the people who are in the band Marmalade.
Marmalade, you are cancelled. I've got a little premonition.
Alan Whitehead.
What did he do? What terrible, terrible things has he done?
Nothing. He got on to manage Amazulu and the Bell Stars, among others.
Great.
He ran a strip club in Newquay called Divas.
Okay.
And he appeared on an episode of Take Me Out in 2013.
How did he do? Do you know?
He hooked up with a woman who was 40 years his junior.
Absolutely. With a smile from her young face, she gave him back his inspiration.
Yeah, he now lives in Thailand.
So I'm leaning back into the young face. He's not as innocent. Okay. Anyway, good luck, everybody. Who else was in them? Fred West, who?
Junior Campbell.
Yeah, Junior. Again, a young thing. Go on.
Who, oh, you're going to love this. Who he would write songs for the TV series Thomas the Tank Engine and Friends.
Right. That's all right.
Like the Ohio Express, there is still a version of Marmalade touring
Are they on some kind of register?
at time of recording.
I'm really sorry. We're only being silly. We only have to look. We're also comedians are trying to do a podcast. We can't get going, oh, this is a good song, I like it, can we? I'm into it. It's got a key change in. I'm just going to say to rescue it a little bit. There's another song with a key change in, James.
Does it go into A minor?
Nice work. Do you know who was in the video? This was good. Did you watch the video this week?
No, I didn't.
One of the go-go dancers, who, would you believe, Marmalade, let's call it with... I mean, it's no surprise. They get loads of young girls to dance around them. That's part of pop music, we're only being silly. One of them, James, was Janet Street Porter.
Wow.
Yeah. Should we explain who Janet Street Porter is, maybe, for people who don't know?
I don't think we can.
No, how would you define...
How would you describe Janet Street Porter?
A smart, intelligent, talented woman.
Yeah. She was on telly a lot in the 80s and 90s.
Really was, when she wasn't grooving to Marmalade.
She was a journalist, wasn't she?
Yeah.
Is that how she started?
Yeah.
And then she was in charge of youth TV on the BBC for a while.
I seem to remember doing programmes where she put bands on at least, so I'm always grateful of that. Anyone in the late 70s, 80s, let's say, who puts a bit of pop music on television. Thanks, Janet Street Porter.
Didn't she hook up with Normski?
I think she did. Good fact. And this isn't even us Googling, this is James's imagination, or let's call it memory.
Someone I know and may share a house with once got Normski and Noam Chomsky confused.
I'd like to hear Normski's take on capitalism.
I'd like to hear Noam Chomsky do a rap.
I think maybe just to get it back on track, I think David Munro on YouTube comments sums this song up great.
Number 6.
Down to number 6. Hurdy, Gurdy, Murdy. No, Hurdy, Gurdy Man by Donovan.
Donovan? Do you want to carry on the rhyme?
Not Jason Donovan. No, just Donovan. No Jason.
Not a vehicle selling kebab meat either. We could carry on with that sort of stuff, couldn't we?
Yeah.
Did you get my joke?
Not if Donna Summer married Van Morrison.
Great.
Let's stop now.
Okay, Hurdy-Gurdy Man. I am going to say, James, I'd heard the title. I knew it a little bit again. Not one I'm overly familiar with. I wasn't digging it until about maybe a day or a day and a half ago where it came on in this top 10, which I've been listening to a lot. And I thought, I love this one.
Okay, so what happened? What changed within you?
Just as we sometimes allude to, just the notion of repeated listening. I sometimes pretend, James, when we're doing charts that we don't really know, certainly ones we're not alive about, I put them on quite a lot during the week, and it gives me a sense of what it might have been like to listen to Radio 1. I mean, it's definitely a part of music. We've learned this big time doing this podcast, haven't we? Repeated listenings can soften you up often.
It's a weird song, isn't it, this?
It's really weird.
Because there's a disconnect between what he's singing and how it sounds.
Go on.
The hurdy-gurdy man came singing songs of love. And the song of love that the hurdy-gurdy man sings is hurdy-gurdy, 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 gurdy. He sang. Yeah. And you think, is it of love? It could be of anything, mate. He's just singing the words hurdy and gurdy.
He's singing hurdy-gurdy a lot, and also Donovan calls him the roly-poly man sometimes. So, I mean, the thing about hurdy-gurdy man, my sort of lazy image of Donovan is he's like Bob Dylan wannabe some ways. Although he went on to do great music, there's no doubt about it. I could not escape the notion that if Bob Dylan hadn't wrote about a bleeding tambourine man banging his tambourine or like that hurdy-gurdy, I mean, no, you could, if you're being lazy, you could say that it's influenced at least.
From his album Maracas Man. Have you ever played a hurdy-gurdy?
No, I would like to have a go on a little hurdy-gurdy.
They cost around £1,500.
Ah, nice
I had a little
work.
Google.
Yeah. Is it for my Christmas present?
Well, let's see how the Patreon goes, shall we?
Probably not then.
Do you know who can play the hurdy-gurdy?
Nope.
Jimmy Page can play the hurdy-gurdy.
All right.
Richie Blackmore can play the hurdy-gurdy.
Yeah.
Who plays the hurdy-gurdy on the hurdy-gurdy man?
All right, then. When I was looking at YouTube comments, there was a big, let's call it fracas, a big array of people arguing that possibly Jimmy Page, John Bonham, John Paul Jones, Clem Catini, a session drummer we've mentioned before, played on loads of stuff. Alan Parker might have played the song. There seemed to be a little bit of, let's call it an argument about, was it Led Zeppelin who were backing Donovan on the hurdy-gurdy? And then, from my general takeaway, it was, no, it's not. But, you know, it caused a little argument, let's say.
There is some debate online. John Paul Jones is pretty nailed on that he's playing the bass. And it might be John Bonham on drums. It's less likely that it's Jimmy Page. But he was a session musician at that time. So.
A lot of people say it's not John Bonham, it was Clem Catini. I'd just like to mention Clem Catini when we can, who played on 148 songs or something. They got in the top 10 and then he stopped counting. We've mentioned him in the past.
Do you know who Donovan wanted to play guitar on this?
Bob Dylan, I imagine.
It's someone we've mentioned already in this recording.
Oh, really?
Yeah. When we were talking about kazoos.
No, go on.
Jimi Hendrix, he wanted.
Okay.
He didn't get him. Who plays the hurdy-gurdy on this track, though?
I don't know.
No one. There is no hurdy-gurdy on the song Hurdy-Gurdy Man. It is instead a tambura, which was played by Donovan, who gave him the tambura.
Hey, Mr. Tambora Man, maybe. I don't know who gave him. I don't know who did.
Well, who was Donovan hanging out with around this time?
Bob Dylan. No, that was
India.
earlier. Have you ever seen that film, Don't Look Back? It's
No.
one of the most tragic things. Bob Dylan documentary where he's doing his tour of England. He sees Donovan is in the papers. He wants to meet Donovan because, let's call it, Donovan is open about his admiration. And then he invites him in. It's nice, you know, you see them hanging out. But a very sad scene, I think, where someone throws a glass out the hotel window. Bob Dylan's having a little fit about it. Who threw the glass, man? And then Donovan's there going, I'll clean it up. A little bit like a little, you know, a creepy creep. To Bob Dylan, I'll clean the glass up, Bob. I'm being silly because he's done some great songs, hasn't he?
Yeah, I'm generally quite a fan
Yeah, I'm
of his hits.
I'm being snitty. Yeah, I only know his hits really.
No, who was Donovan hanging out with in the 60s?
Jimi Hendrix.
In India.
Oh, of course. Paul McCartney, the Beatles, the Maharishi, Mia Farrow's sister. I'm trying to remember who else was in
Prudence.
that. Yeah, dear Prudence. I mean, it's got a load of the drums on this record, the fills, let's say. Whoever may play them, Clem Catini, let's say. They've got loads of Ringo-esque fills from Dear Prudence, actually. Reminded me a lot of that song. Again, it came out before the White Album, so we're also saying the Beatles are a bunch of thieves.
The story is that this
Marmalade, you know what, and the Beatles are thieves.
This was written in India when the Beatles were there.
Okay.
He wrote this song, apparently. George Harrison gave him the tambura.
Great research.
Yeah, which is, of course, when you get like a prawn and you put it in a very light batter.
I like the second verse especially. Histories of ages past, unenlightened shadows cast down through all eternity, the crying of humanity. What do you think happens next?
Hurdy-gurdy, hurdy-gurdy, hurdy-gurdy man.
Spot on. There's a nice version by Eartha Kitt I found when I was just having a little scroll around. That was a pretty version.
Eartha Curtha.
The Eartha Curtha, Eartha Nertha. Now also, in YouTube, there are loads of people quoting things. I thought, I don't know what's going on here. Do you know what film this was in that seemed to make a lot of impact on a bunch of nerds on YouTube?
I do, because I've seen the film.
Go on.
It's Zodiac.
And how's it used in the films? What's first of all Zodiac? It's about a serial killer. I got very bored in the cinema, so I don't remember that much about it.
It's about the Zodiac Killer.
That's right.
Which at the time was an unsolved case. and the hunt to figure out who it is. And in the movie, the Hurdy-Gurdy man song is used as the soundtrack for the Zodiac Killer doing the killings.
Righto.
Which puts a really sinister take on Hurdy-Gurdy Man, and that was probably in my mind when I was listening to it this week.
Yeah. I didn't, like I say, I probably had a little nap during the Zodiac when I saw it, but loads of people loved it, and there were loads of quoting, a whole lot of quoting going on, as Jerry Lee Lewis nearly said, from this film. So it made me think that Zodiac and Hurdy-Gurdy Man, it's deep within the hearts of some people for dark reasons, you're saying.
So you didn't like the film?
Not
Did you
me
fall asleep?
Not me personally, sir.
Well, Rotten Tomatoes gave it 90%.
Okay. Not the first time I've been out of step.
Donovan's daughter is in the movie Zodiac.
Oh, yeah?
Because his daughter is Ione Skye.
Right, yeah. I forgot that. And Donovan was Sean Ryder's father-in-law or something. They got married, didn't they? Sean Ryder and Donovan's daughter.
Ione Skye?
His daughter, who's named Oriole, I believe.
In part 2, we'll be deep diving the top 5 from the 13th of July 1968, where you'll hear us say...
Sometimes we say, what's been your favourite this week?
Yeah.
I'm putting a call in early for this record. I fucking love this record.
But I was going to put a call in.
I didn't know it. I wasn't familiar with it. What a treat.
What a song this is. So Kiss and Des O'Connor are linked. He was essentially another member of Kiss.
Yeah.
That's what we're saying. All what really matters is right now.
Now, despite this, James, loads of people in YouTube comments are going on about how great the 60s were and you'll never get them back, so I'd listen to that. Also, please check out our Spotify and YouTube playlist. We always like to remind you at the end, give these songs a listen because it'll make your life a little bit better, I'm going to say.
You can email us any questions, corrections, opinions or theories at shoobypodcast@gmail.com, and you can join our Patreon community and get access to our bonus tracks podcast for an extra episode a week where we talk about songs that never get in the top 10. Thanks very much for listening. We hope you've enjoyed it. Please share, tell your friends, like, comment, subscribe, etc.
If the lowest selling top 10 singles this week were that good, imagine what the top 5 are going to be like.
Until next time, Shooby Dooby Doo Up.
Bop bop shoe up.